Welcome to Winning Hearts and Minds Educational Leadership Podcast. I am your host, Dion Jude. Today we're going to explore a crucial aspect of educational leadership, showing appreciation for our staff and prioritising their well-being. We often talk about student engagement and motivation, but what about the very people who are the backbone of our schools, our teachers and support staff? How do we make sure they feel valued and cared for, even when resources like time are limited? One of the most important things I've learned in my years as a school leader is that a little appreciation goes a long way. We're all familiar with the high demands and pressures of working in education. The relentless focus on outcomes, the marking, the planning, and the inevitable last-minute challenges can all take a toll. As leaders, we can't always reduce their workload or give them more time. However, we can create opportunities that show we care, and that's what I want to talk about today. Let me start by sharing an experience from a school where I once worked. This school had a wonderful tradition called Cake Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, a department was responsible for bringing in a homemade or shop-bought cakes, and it would be placed in the staff room for everyone to enjoy. It was something small, but it quickly became a much anticipated part of the week. People would gather, have a slice of cake, and chat. It wasn't just about the cake, though it was delicious. It was about the moment of connection, the pause in the day where staff could come together as a community. It created a shared experience that brought joy and lightened the load, even if just for a little while. Then there was Fruit Fridays. The school would provide a selection of fresh fruit for the staff to share, promoting a sense of well-being. It was a simple gesture, but it was appreciated. Not everyone wanted cake after all, but the message was clear. This was a school that cared about the physical and emotional well-being of its staff. These small, consistent gestures made a big difference. Staff looked forward to these days, not just for the food, but for the opportunity to connect with each other outside of their usual roles. It was a way of saying, we see you, we appreciate you, and we're here for you. In recent years, I've also seen some schools take the concept of well-being even further by offering Duvet Days. This is a relatively new idea, but one that's gaining traction. The premise is simple. Each member of staff is given the opportunity to take one day off per year, no questions asked. It's a recognition that sometimes we all just need a break, a day to rest, recharge, and come back to work feeling more balanced and ready to give our best. It's a powerful way to show trust and care for your staff, acknowledging that their well-being is a priority. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, that sounds great, but our budget is tight, or we don't have the resources for that, and I get it. Not every school has the luxury of extra funding, and not every leader can implement a Duvet Day policy, but the principle remains the same. Showing you care doesn't have to be costly. It's about creating those moments of connection and appreciation, even in small ways. Perhaps you could organise a monthly staff breakfast where everyone can sit down together before the school day starts. Maybe it's a simple handwritten note of thanks left on someone's desk, acknowledging their hard work on a particularly challenging project. Or consider starting a Thankful Thursday, where staff are encouraged to share something they're grateful for, or to give a shout out to a colleague who has made a difference that week. What's important is that these gestures are consistent and genuine. Staff need to feel that their efforts are recognised and valued, not just during designated appreciation weeks or at the end of the school year, but regularly. As leaders, it's our responsibility to create an environment where our staff feel valued, respected and cared for. This doesn't just benefit them, it benefits the entire school community. When staff feel appreciated, they are more engaged, more motivated, and more likely to go the extra mile for their students and colleagues. So I'd like to leave you with a few questions for reflection. How do you currently show appreciation to your staff? Are there small, consistent gestures you could introduce to foster a sense of community and well-being? Remember, showing appreciation and care doesn't have to be about grand gestures. It's about the little things that make people feel seen and valued. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to our next conversation. Until then, keep winning hearts, keep inspiring minds, and keep leading with compassion.